man, you were touching 102 at a few times throughout the season here, which is just must have been so exciting.
It was 103 on the.
Wow. We are so excited to be joined by today's guest, pitcher in the Toronto Blue Jays organization, finishing his season with the High A Vancouver Canadians, Troy Watson. Welcome to the walk-off, buddy.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. It's about time, huh?
Yeah,
Or
that
like I've been
second,
blowing you guys off.
we finally locked you down though, Troy. You were
Uh,
a slippery fish, but we got you.
I apologize, guys.
No, all good to start with, man. We are excited to talk baseball with you here, and congratulations are in order, man. You had a heck of a season, a whip of 1.10. You had 39 Ks over 29 innings. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a long time coming, kind of with the strikeouts, because like early in the career they weren't really coming in, so it was finally good to see some strikeouts coming my way.
A nice success there, and let's start with the fact that this wasn't just a successful season for you because of the numbers, and the numbers were great, don't get me wrong, but
Mm-hmm.
this was also a successful season for you because you're healthy, man. You're back on the field after dealing with like 13 months of rehab and recovery from Tommy John.
Mm-hmm.
Where was your head at last spring as you took the ball on the mound, you're feeling good and actually able to get into games again?
Just a complete just like lift of weight off my shoulders. Just like I was finally able to get back out there with my teammates and like put on a jersey again and like
Yeah.
not face the same color jersey, or like just being able to compete again, and like it's up in the air. Just like whatever happens. It's an uncontrolled situation. I mean, I was playing baseball again. I was very, very, very excited to be out there again.
Had you ever dealt with an injury, anything like this? I'm guessing this was the longest, most tenuous rehab you've had so far.
Yeah, so this was like the one that kind of set in that like you either do this 100%, because if you do it 97%, you're not going to come back like you want to.
Yeah.
So and like this was like a one where like if I don't fully commit myself, my career is in the balance, and I don't like my
A little bit of,
baseball being played with. So yeah, so this was really the most serious surgery that I've had, or injury that I've had throughout my career. So it was kind of easy to set my mindset to, okay, let's go, because like I
yeah.
want to play. This is my life right here, baseball. So
Do you mind, Troy, if we talk the injury a little bit?
not at all.
When you felt, was it in game that you felt
It
something in your arm? Yeah.
it was my first start, my second inning coming off of the COVID year.
Oh,
So then that happened, and then I had to miss the whole year and then half of this past year.
that must have been such a mental hit. Like,
It
did you know
was.
instantly? Like, I know what guys always are like, yeah, it was pretty obvious. Were you like, oh shit, as soon as it happened?
As soon as it happened. I mean, I didn't think it was torn, because like most guys, when like you see it happen, like they lose a little bit of command, they lose a little bit of velo. I didn't lose any velo on my fastball, and I didn't lose really command, because I went back out for that third inning too, and I tore it in the second,
Right.
and I finished the third with a strikeout, like still throwing 94, 95. So like I thought it was, and then after the game, I had this golf ball of like a whelp on my like inner elbow right there, and I was just like, no way, like I was scared. So
Yeah, I can
I
imagine.
knew and it happened on a slider too. So like, and
So
it
what
went
was
about 53 foot.
Jeez. So what
Yeah.
was the next 24 hours like after that? Like obviously, like you said, there's a lot of fear involved.
I didn't.
What was the staff like? How long did you need to wait for tests? Like how did this all unroll?
Oh no. My medical guy there, Hammer, he was really calm about the situation. I mean, we all thought it was my flexor tendon, just because my tests were showing like it wasn't my UCL. I mean,
Right.
I was my grip didn't go down really, and just the fact that I mean I was able to go back out for the third, still throw hard, still throw strikes. I mean, my off speed was off. I threw nothing but fastballs that third inning, but No, that was a notification. I promise you guys I didn't too. That was
That's so funny. I was just about to be like, that was not me.
all right. So I'm just gonna go turn my stuff on do not disturb so that don't happen again. And now we're back. All right.
Oh, that's the best notification sound I've ever heard. That's perfect.
That was fantasy. Not looking good this year, but yeah. So crap. Where was I?
You were just talking about how they at first thought it was your flexor
Okay,
because
yeah.
you were able to get back out there.
Mhm,
So
yeah. So like after the game, Hammer was like, "All right, like your tests look good. Like everything looks good. Like we just think you strained your flexor tendon." So immediately after, I was like, a sort of calmness came over me because no pitcher wants Tommy John.
Yeah.
And a sort of calmness came over me. Like the next day, like so we took a week off, no throw, just do arm care. And this is all still in Vancouver whenever we're joint with Hillsborough. And so I do a week of no throw, just arm care, and then I come back that next week, and I'm building up, and it hurts. But like I really don't tell anybody because we just had a COVID year.
Right.
Last thing I want to do is have surgery, and it hurts. So I every throw I make after this, like at 60 feet, even when I on release point, like I have no ligament right here during this, and it feels like my arm about to snap because there's nothing resisting the bones hitting together.
Right, of course.
So I mean the reason it took so long for me to get surgery was because I did think I was okay. I didn't want to be hurt.
Yeah, of course.
I did try to pitch through it. I didn't get on a mound again. I couldn't.
Yeah.
So and then like on the day that like they were supposed to put me on the mound, I was like, Hammer, I can't. And then he was like, okay. And then I went to Florida. First day in Florida, got an MRI again. And then the surgery all happened in so quick. I
Like
didn't really
from the
have time
time
to
you
think
got
about
that MRI and they were like, yes, it is the ligament.
Mm-hmm.
You had surgery within a week?
Within a week.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that is a whirlwind.
Yeah, they like I didn't have like and I'm glad it happened that way too because like if I would have had time to think about it, like if I would have had a month to process on my TJ, I would have psyched myself out. But since it happened so quick, and I was able to go to Dr. Keith Meister in Arlington, which is home for me. So I was able to go home. I had surgery, and my dad was in the waiting room, and we just went home. So that helped me out a lot too. But yeah, it all happened so quick. From the MRI, the image, your ligament's torn. Let's get this fixed. That happened really quick, but the process of getting the image, I didn't want it. I'm fine, believe, but I wasn't.
It's interesting when Tommy John is brought up because it is such a frequently performed surgery within the baseball world. And fans almost, I don't think they really get it. I know I had to do some research years ago. I read that Jeff Passan book, The Arm, where he kind of went into all of the epidemic, basically, that is Tommy John surgery and what it is. But for those who don't exactly know, what does this entail? Because they're actually taking ligaments out of your knee and replacing it or something like that, or what are they doing?
Yeah, so crap. Now, so I got what they call the hybrid. So I got the full reconstruction and the brace. So for instance, so Nick Frosta, he had Tommy John, but so the way his was torn, it wasn't fully torn off the bone. So I don't know the full stuff on that, but he got the brace, just the brace. So that's 6 to 8 months. Still TJ, but it's different. Like he got the grab out of his wrist just like I did.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, or he just got the brace. Like he still has the same ligament, but it's just tied down.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
Right.
But
with the brace, it is less rehab time, right? Like you were saying,
Let for sure.
Frazo was just 6 to 8 months.
Oh,
Just.
Russell was in and out. He was in and out. He got big, came out throwing 100. Blue Jays was like, "You're good." It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen Nick Frosso's rehab. It was pretty incredible. But yeah, so like they take a ligament out of your wrist. They're starting. It's your quad, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
They take that one. Yeah. So I mean,
So
there's
once
go ahead.
once this surgery took place, how long till you could even throw a ball?
Oh, I wasn't throwing a ball. So I had it 2 days before my birthday, June 9th. And then I didn't. Are we talking about a baseball or a plyo ball? Or you're just making the arm motion in general?
Just making the arm motion.
Okay, so that happened about 7 months, 8 months post surgery. So I was about
Wow.
December, January before I even picked up the baseball again.
Troy, is this the longest that you have gone since you were like a small child to not do
Since,
baseball activity?
since diapers.
Right.
It was weird. And like that was my biggest.
So what did you do? You must have felt like a part of your life was missing. What did you fill it with? Like, were you watching TV or like what was?
I got invested in Apex and Call of Duty.
Okay.
I
Gaming.
grinded.
Yeah. You grinded. Yeah.
Grinded those games. Unbelievable. I mean, I'm not very good at them still today, but I play them so much, and I still play them now today because I mean, I got in such a routine of playing.
Sure. Yeah.
Keeps me out of trouble. Baseball, video games.
So once you did start being able to throw the ball again and the light at the end of the tunnel was starting to show itself, what did that rehab process look like? And how much was the Vancouver organization or the Blue Jays organization in touch with you and guiding you through this? How much was this was it more like they gave you a sheet, this is what you got to do, and it was on you, or how did this all play out?
Okay, so right after surgery, I was home for 2 weeks. And then right after those 2 weeks, I was in Florida with the Blue Jays from then on until I left the FCL or until I left Dunedin. Because I like even whenever I pitched for the FCL and I was cleared, I went to Dunedin and I threw 11 or 12 innings, and the medical guys would go watch my games. So like still I was in rehab, but not in rehab. So like they always had eyes on me. And it's not just me like that. They're like that with any rehab guy who's coming out. Like they're really good on making sure that they're 100% before they send them out, and let them go play. So like, but whenever I picked up a baseball, my rehab process, I would say it got a lot more fun because, like you said, I'm seeing that light, that light at the end of this long tunnel that I've been crawling down it almost seems like. But like I picked up a baseball and I threw like the plyo ball. I have the video of my first plyo throw, and I smile ear to ear because I'm like, this is what I've all those
doing what you love again. Yeah,
like dumbbell things and all the soft tissue, and then all the bull crap that I've been through led up to this one plyo ball that I'm throwing 1.5 miles hard into this wall, and it don't hurt, and it didn't hurt at all. That was
unreal.
It was awesome.
So let's rewind a little here then. With zero pain there, were you experiencing some pain and discomfort before you felt that actual pop in your elbow? Like, was it out of curiosity with the tendon snapping or injury or ripping or whatever it is this a gradual thing? Like, of course there's always that one moment where it happens, but this is work over numerous games, right? Wear and tear. Yeah.
So I mean, realistically, if you were to take an MRI of every pitcher in the minor leagues, because they've been throwing constantly their entire life. There's a small tear in a lot of them, but like it's just something that just happens over time. And so like, yeah, like I felt my elbow kind of bugging me during spring training right before I left for Vancouver. And then that first start got me. It got me on one pitch. Like that was the finisher.
The fact it was the first game after missing that COVID season, like it's
I
just
know.
wow, buddy. The mental toughness to come back again. Congrats on being healthy. Very, very cool to see you make it all the way back here.
Thank you. And it wasn't just me. I had a fantastic support system.
Yeah,
Obviously.
it sounds like it, which is so good to hear. And it's funny because you've had a few things where you're transitioning also. This was the first full year that you were strictly a reliever, correct?
Yes, sir.
Was there a learning curve to coming out of the pen? Yeah.
Absolutely.
What's the difference?
There's a mentality. And just like I love the bullpen now. At first, I was a little skeptical about it. But I mean, now like after doing it, being thrown in those situations, like that's what I've always wanted to do. Like as a starter, like my goal is to get to the seventh, like be in that tight leverage situation. Like as a starter, give my team the best chance to win. And now as a bullpen guy, I'm able to come in those situations a lot more frequently. Like I'm able to pitch three times a week instead of as a starter, I get the ball 5 to 6 times or every 5th or 6th day.
Yeah.
So like the amount of times I get to compete in a week coming out of the bullpen, I love it. And the learning curve, different routine, it's just different mindset, different attitude. And I think the bullpen role fits my attitude a lot better than starting.
What's the biggest change in mentality? I mean, obviously starting is such a routine-based thing you're doing, whereas the bullpen, you're almost got to be ready every day, right?
Every day. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. You always got to be like, you always got to have your cleats on. You always got to be engaged in what's going on. You got to know like what other pitchers who throw similar stuff to you or like you that are on your team, what they throw whenever they're pitching to certain hitters. I mean, there's just a whole other amount of stuff that you got to look at while the game is going on. Whereas a starter,
that's a great word, by the way, engaged, because I totally got what you're saying, right? Like, even though starters who aren't starting on that day of a game, obviously they're watching and they're involved in the game, but like, yeah, just the idea of you could be called upon, like you just have to be in it, right?
It's like you can look to your right, have a simple conversation with your buddy in the bullpen. I'm saying this because it happened to me in Vancouver. Like I just looked over and then all of a sudden hit, double, walk, Watson get hot. And I'm just, like, what? Like, what just happened? And then you throw, I mean, this didn't happen with me per se, but like Watson get hot did, but like,
yeah,
this one time happened, I'm not going to say name, but he got hot and he threw like 5 to 6 pitches in the bullpen. Like had no time. Like it was get your arm loose, go use your 8 on the game mound to get to finish getting ready. Like that's just how quick it can happen.
wow.
And I like that stuff. Like I love being thrown in the fire.
I love hearing how into being in the bullpen you are. Not every starter who makes that transition to reliever looks at it that way. And I love to see that. I also was looking over some of your stuff, and man, you were touching 102 at a few times throughout the season here, which is just must have been so exciting. And obviously there's this baseball legend out there that increased velo after Tommy John surgery is a thing. So let's do some myth busters. Are you throwing harder now than before the surgery?
I am. I am.
Do you remember the first time you saw triple digits pop up on a board?
Yeah, it was in Vancouver. And it was 103 on the
Wow.
board, but like there's a hot spot on the Vancouver gun. I still today don't really know the exact velocity of that pitch, but so I threw it and it said 103, and it was a ball, but like the batter called time and like stood out and looked up, and all of a sudden all 6,000 Vancouver fans just stand up and start clapping, and like I have no idea. Like I'm on the rubber and like the batter calls time, and I like step off and I look back and it says 03. And I'm just like, oh my.
What?
And like the thing, I knew I kind of got on that too because I missed up. So I was like, no, that wasn't 103.
Yeah, before you saw the number, you're like, oh, I overthrew that one.
Yeah, but I threw it. I was like, ooh, I wonder how hard that was. And like, I'm not the one like rarely a velo check, but
Wow,
yeah,
man.
apparently.
That is a pretty exclusive group of human beings on this planet. Like, I don't know what the actual number is, but you're like in the top 1,000 people in the world. Like, that's pretty insane stuff, dude.
It's when you put it like that, it's a lot cooler than what it is. It is.
Well, I you know,
Yeah.
I don't play ball, I podcast, so you know, that's my little yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. But yeah, doing that it's just, I mean, again, just being healthy is, I mean, I I knew I could always throw hard, but I mean, not that hard, obviously. But I've never also been in the weight room. I think me having TJ was the best thing that's ever happened to me as a routine standpoint. Because I mean,
Mhm.
for the first time, like, because like I said, I was at home for 2 weeks, and then 16 months straight, I was at our complex working out 3 to 5 times a week. So that was a big part in my rehab, was just the weight room, getting stronger, getting more flexible, learning the movements a lot more so I can take them into my off season or take them to an affiliate. Like I have like I used to be like all like I need someone to give me something and I need to do it step by step. But now I know what works for me. I know what makes me better in the weight room, in the training room, and those 14 to 16 months of rehab coming back from this set that up perfectly. So like now
Just
I'm
just feeling stronger and having that
mhm,
mental block of like your arm, you don't trust it 100%. It's just everything, eh? Like,
everything.
wow, man. So as you transition to the bullpen, obviously as a first-time reliever, did the Jays have you working on anything? What was the focus you had when you took the mound? Or were they pretty much just go out there and try and feel good?
I mean, yeah. So at first, it was I was very hard on myself coming back. Like if I would give up a run and my one inning work, I am pissed because I'm a competitor,
Mm-hmm.
and like I would have my pitching coach at the time, or my rehab pitching coach at the time, Greg or Phil Kadari. They would tell me, they're like, dude, you ain't pitched in 3.5 years. These guys have been swinging since these guys have been swinging a bat for 3 years straight, longer than
I
that.
love that. I love that because in your head, you're like, oh man, I haven't pitched in 3.5 years. Like, I got to make up time. And they're like,
Mhm.
buddy, like, chill
Yeah, so
out.
like I was just like getting like anxious and like all like almost like too like amped up and like not just letting the game come to me. And so like that happened, and then they were like, you just gotta calm down, buddy. Like we know you're good. You just gotta get in the flow of the game. Like you just can't pick up a ball and be good. So I was very hard on myself. But one of the things, so like they were really easy with me on like kind of easing me into the game flow. But like once I hit, my stride, they were like, one thing that they tried to work with me on. So as a starter, I would paint the corners, down and away, low and away. Like, you know, now my tick and velo, me being in like my pitches are all moving better. Like my spin rate's higher, my vertical break is higher. Like this surgery changed everything about my pitches. And now they want me to throw more up because I got that little ride. So that's been a struggle with me to learn how to throw up for a strike. Because usually I'm used to painting two away and then going up, like to get
Right.
on the swing and then I drop it in off speed. But now, like they want me to live right here in the face mask, and that was pretty tough to consistently hit. Like my bullpens, I throw 10 to 12 pitches, fastballs right here, just at the catcher's face mask, just to see it. So that's one thing that they got me to change or work on.
It's interesting to see as the season progressed too, that you did get better at hitting that spot in the high fastball. And as that happened, we watched the situations you were put in were just higher leverage as the season went on. In fact, you even had a save by the end. These high leverage moments, can you see yourself doing this regularly? Is that where you want to be, the back end of the pen?
That's where I want to be. Absolutely. I mean, obviously, I'll throw any inning because, I mean, you got to get 27 outs.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get 3 the first inning. You got to get 3 the ninth inning. I mean, it doesn't matter what 3 you get. It just matters
That
on
you
how
get
you
it.
get them. It just
Yeah.
you just gotta a nut up for your teammates and shut the door sometimes. And I like that job. I won't be 100% at that job, obviously, because baseball is baseball. But I mean, I love being in that role. I love the fact that like my coaches would trust me to say, go close the door on them, and I got 7 guys behind me that, we do laundry in the clubhouse. They're going to get dirty for me. So, just a lot of trust that goes in it.
So you, my dude, have spent some time in Vancouver now. What's your favorite thing about the city? I know it's funny. Almost every guy that we bring on the show who has worn a Canadians jersey just loves the experience they had in Vancouver. What is Vancouver doing right? Why is everybody loving it?
They love baseball. They love their baseball team. And that is something I will go to. I'll lay down my life right there. If I don't know, if somebody says if the Vancouver Canadians don't like their baseball up there, I'll argue with them 1,000% every damn time. They show up, they show out, they love the guys, and it's great because if like a player does bad or like if they have a bad game, like you're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear it. Like that's how much they care. And like us as players, if we see that every night, and
Yeah.
we want to do good for them. So like having a good support system like the fans and like in Vancouver and the city's great. Like it's so beautiful up there. That was the farthest north I've ever been, and it was beautiful country up there. I fell in love with it immediately. And so
That's awesome too, because you also, I mean, even though it was only for 3 innings, you were with the Canadians when they couldn't cross the border. There was a major difference, I'm guessing. Obviously a home crowd, but
yeah, major difference.
Hillsborough wasn't anything to write home about.
I mean, Oregon. So we were staying in Portland. Portland's very beautiful too.
Yeah.
Like Oregon's beautiful, but it ain't Vancouver, Canada. It ain't.
Is there a place the guys like to go eat there?
Me, the son, and oh my god, TJ Brock found this taco place. We got it. It's I can't think of it right now, but it was so good, and cheap tacos. And they have it, so it's like an arcade. Like we ate tacos and played the Wii.
Nice.
At the same time. It was pretty fun.
That's funny. I love it because I know TJ Brock was on the show also, and he could not say enough good things about Vancouver. He hadn't been to Canada or anything before, and he was just like, I was not expecting this at all. And he talked about the fans the same way too, that just like, because he's one of the other few guys within the system that's hitting triple digits, and he was just like, even when you're throwing gas, they appreciate it. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, TJ, I love that guy.
So we touched on it right off the top here, but you had one of the highest K rates in the entire Blue Jays system this past year, and that is something that you've really improved within your game. What's your mentality when you need a strikeout these days? You get the call in the 7th inning, and that's what you're being brought in to do. What's your game plan?
Trust. I'm not the type of pitcher, to shake. The catcher's been behind the dish right there the entire game. I mean, and he's caught against the hitters throughout the entire series, throughout the entire game or season. So, I mean, I'm trusting the catcher on what to throw on that aspect. But I mean, I know what he's gonna a fastball right here. I mean, because I got velo and then my slider in the dirt. I mean, like my mentality is it's F you and F it.
I love that.
And it's not directly towards the hitter. It's just like in a moment thing. Like it's me versus you, my stuff versus your stuff. If you get me, I'll tip my cap. But let's go. And then F it, because once I release that ball, everything is out of my control. Whether if it's a strike, whether if my catcher catches it, whether if the dude hits it, everything is out of my control.
So are you an expressive guy on the mound then? Like in a big situation, are you a fist pump guy? Do you let some emotion out, or are you more of a brick wall?
So
no emotion.
In the past, I've been stoic. Like you couldn't really tell, but I did have a save in Vancouver where I went like that
Yeah.
on the final strikeout, and I didn't even mean to do it. It just happened. And I think the crowd had a big part in that.
Right? Like that's the thing whenever someone gets upset about emotion being expressed in baseball, I really, it's funny because I think all baseball fans have a little bit of that in them, of the do it the right way, the stoic, even the folks who constantly preach to let the kids play. But how do you not love when it's just in the moment and you can tell this isn't showing anyone up? This is just sheer excitement and,
Because, I mean, baseball is such a hard game to do or play and be good at. And for you to do something great in a high leverage situation, I mean, how can you not celebrate? Because, I mean, you got the crowd going. You look over, you see all your teammates in the dugout jumping up and down, jumping over the fence. And, you get the fireworks going in the background. You hit a tank. I mean, I'm bat flipping. If I could do that, I'm bat flipping every day. I mean, come on. I mean, how cool
That's what I love. That's what I
feet?
love about people pushing back when pitchers get excited. It's like, well, it's so not fair. It's such a double standard. Guys are bat flipping doubles these days. And let the pitcher show a little emotion.
But the thing is, if I could hit a ball with an exit velo of 112 for a double, I'm doing the craziest double celebration because I just pissed on that ball. You know what I'm saying? And hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do. One of the hardest things to do. I'm not gonna say the hardest because it's the sport of golf. There's water polo. Water polo is really, really tough.
Yeah, it's funny. My
stuff
buddy
that they go through.
My buddy played water polo all of his childhood. His sister actually played with the Canadian national team in the Olympics. So they were hardcore. And he was telling me stories and I was just like, this sounds literally like wrestling almost. I was like, this is way more physical than I imagined water polo.
The stuff that they got to go through because they got to be underwater for minutes, swimming, battling. So I don't know, but I mean, I think a celebration is good for the game, but I mean, you got to do it in the right way. Know the moment. Know there's a time and a place to to do it, and you just got to know when.
Okay, so answer me this, Troy. If you're on the mound, you're Toronto Blue Jay. Josh Naylor hits a home run off you, and he starts rocking you like a little baby around. Is that too much, or is that just good fun? Because I kind of thought it was funny, but also I can't stand the Yankees. So I was just like, yes, give it to him.
Honestly, that might have upset me in the moment.
Yeah.
Just because of a embarrassment standpoint. Like, all right,
Yes.
you don't got to embarrass me that much, man. Come on. But like after the fact, like this, like let me get off the mound. Like I won't do anything on the mound. I'll be pissed off on the mound. But like after the game, I watch it on Sports Center because it's there. I see it on TV. My teammates joking with me. It's all fun and games and no hard feelings. But like, yeah, like.
But if you strike him out next time, you might just a little extra, eh?
Yeah. Like if you're gonna give it, you got to be able to get it. So
Troy, you were one of like half a dozen Blue Jays prospects that participated in the Arizona Fall League this year. Did the Blue Jays have you working on something there, or was this more just for innings? They needed you to pitch more innings.
I think it was more inning based on like I finished the season in Vancouver really, really well on a high note. And then I went back to Florida through a live BP, still looked good. I got out to Arizona, and the main focus was to keep me on the same routine that I was in Vancouver, which was, so that first week I was still on the schedule like I was in Vancouver, Tuesday, Saturday, 1 inning or 2 innings on Tuesday or Monday, and then 1 to 2 innings depending on how many I threw on that following day. So that's how it was for the first week. And I begged and pleaded, take me off schedule. Let me live the normal bullpen.
Turn me loose.
Like that's what I was like. Take that bubble wrap off of me, Phil. Phil's our head PT, great guy, love him. And I'm like, Phil, take this bubble wrap off of me, man. Let me go. And he did. And he did. So for the last 3.5 weeks of the AFL, I was available every day. And, if I pitched the day before, so it was 1 inning. So if I pitched 1 inning, I had 1 day off, hot the next day. If I pitched 2 innings, 2 days off, hot the next day. Mm-hmm. So, and I loved it. I did.
Man.
I enjoyed it a lot. I just like
2023, buddy. I'm excited for you. I think that there's some really, just the fact that you're back on the field, you're feeling good, you're getting innings under your belt, man. Like, what a trek. Again, so great to see. So I've asked this of a few guys within the Jays organization here when we've had them on. So I'm a stand-up comedian. That's how I make my living. And I always
can tell
say
you've been cracking me up.
Well, there we go.
All right, here we go. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No. But it's funny because there's one thing I played baseball my whole childhood and life. Like, I never got to college or anything like that, but loved it. But I always compared stand-up comedy to minor league baseball in that we're both in professions that it's like the only professions I can think of where the audience and crowd can sit around and drink the whole time and then just yell shit out at you, right? And heckle. Have you ever been heckled, or even worse, heckled by someone who's actually being funny about it? And if not, have you witnessed some good heckling?
You have no idea how many times I've been on the mound and I've heard somebody say some stuff in the crowd and I've laughed on the mound. I think that is funny, but I don't know. I love a good heckle. Like you have that old man in the stands that like bleeds baseball, and when his home team is doing bad, he just yells out like, "Get this pitcher out of here," or something like that, and it's his home pitcher. You just
it's his home pitcher.
You're like, come on, man. I don't know. Yeah, I love a good heckle. It cracks me up. Yeah, it does.
Do you ever go to stand-up shows?
I've been to a couple. So my very first one I've ever been to was Rodney Carrington.
Nice.
Very vulgar guy.
Yes.
I saw him at the Choctaw Casino in Durant, Oklahoma. And then I saw Bill Burr at the amphitheater in
Wow.
Tampa.
That would have been incredible. That would have been incredible.
I went to see him with Kobe Johnson, and he was the funniest dude I've met. Or I didn't meet him, but that I've seen.
Yeah, I have seen.
person.
Yeah. Oh, he's one of the best. Absolutely one of the best. Well, I'll tell you what, you probably won't be. My guess is you're in New Hampshire or Buffalo by that time, but I play the club in Vancouver next summer. So tickets on me if you're still around, bud.
Well, come on. Yes, sir.
Yeah, right.
I'll take you up on that.
I hope you do. All right, Troy, let's wrap up with this, my dude. So I'm going to name some things and you rank it between 1 and 10. 1 being you're a fan, 1 being you're not a fan, 10 being you absolutely love it.
Let's do it.
You got this incredibly complicated scoring system down? Yeah.
I do. I'm gonna close my eyes so I can really think about them.
Okay. All right. Let's start with poutine.
6. Depends on the poutine. Depends on what's in it.
Star Wars.
10.
Hey, okay. We got a 10.
Love Star Wars.
Robo-umps.
3.
Hockey.
5, but it's climbing.
The Canadian is bleeding into you. You can't help it.
Yes. Before being a Toronto Blue Jay, I knew zilch about hockey. Didn't know jack. Now I'm learning. It's kind of fun. I've been to a Lightning game. They're legit. So I'm gonna say 5.
Yes, they are. Okay. Next time we bring you on the show, poutine and hockey, we're working on getting those numbers up.
All right, cool.
Drake.
8.
Okay. Last one. Your girlfriend's grandparents.
10.
10. Attaboy. For those of you listening, the joke is there that Troy had to bail on Monday because his girlfriend's grandparents showed up, and being a very good boyfriend, he put the podcast aside and made some quality time for the grandparents. Love to see it.
I did. I had to see them.
Mr. Watson, just a freaking pleasure, man. I really enjoyed this talk, man. I would sit down and talk baseball with you any day. All the best. In the future, we're rooting for you, and congrats on a heck of a season and getting healthy.
Yes, sir. Well, thank y'all for having me. I really appreciate it. And sorry it took so long. I'm definitely down to do this again if you guys have the time in the future. So
we absolutely will bug you, Troy, in the future, and we look forward to you returning.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. You have a good day.
Awesome. All right, buddy. That was great, man. Really appreciated it. Before we let you go here, we're rolling right now. So whenever you're ready, but if you can just say, hey, this is Troy Watson with the Toronto Blue Jays organization. You're listening to The Walk Off with Scott and Adam.
Hey, everybody. This is Troy Watson with the Toronto Blue Jays organization. You are listening to The Walk Off with Scott and Adam.
Nailed it, my dude.
Cool.
Thanks again, buddy. Hey, have a great holidays season. All the best in the upcoming year, man. And hopefully our paths cross sometime. Really enjoyed this.
Sir. Yes, sir. Well, happy holidays to y'all too. And don't cross again.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't cross.
All right, buddy.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one.